Long ago, when the world was still being created, there were a pack of wolves. The leader of the pack's name was Jajo. Jajo was a big black wolf and was the strongest wolf alive. He was in love with Senna, the most beautiful wolf anyone had ever seen. Her coat was a pretty grey and she had huge blue eyes. But she did not love him back. Instead, she herself was in love with a brown wolf named Wiginja. The pack of wolves lived high on the tallest mountain. One foggy morning, Senna went down the mountain to get a drink from the nearby lake. When she got there, Jajo was already there. When she saw him, Senna backed off. As she backed up, she didn't notice Wiginja standing behind her. She bumped into him and let out a loud yelp. "I'm sorry to have scared you," he said. "Oh no, sorry, it was my fault. I should have been watching where I was going." The two stood in silence for a while. Finally, Wiginja said goodbye and passed Senna and went off down to the river. Suddenly, a yelp filled the air, and the smell of blood was everywhere. Jajo lifted his head from the pond and turned to face the yelp. It was definitely Senna's, so he decided to follow it. It was there that he saw Senna and Wiginja standing together. Anger filled him, and he set off to lay a trap. Jajo waited behind a bush for Wiginja to come down to the lake. He heard Wiginja coming and then suddenly leapt out at him, claws and teeth at the ready. And Wiginja went still. Senna rushed in the direction that Wiginja had gone. She came to the lake and saw Jajo standing over Wiginja's dead body. Senna let out a gasp of horror and took off into the forest. She rushed up the mountain to where the pack was. When she arrived and told the pack what happened, the pack raced off down to the lake, to find Jajo. When Senna and the pack arrived, they saw Jajo washing the blood from his coat. Suddenly, filled with anger, they chased him off out onto the ice, where it cracked and they all fell in. When they all emerged, they were no longer plain wolves, but wolves of ice. Immediately, they could all feel the sun's rays on them, making them melt, and they all knew they had to get to higher ground or risk turning into a puddle of water. However, Jajo decided to remain behind, for he needed to pay for his crime. The rest of the pack raced off to the top of the mountain. To this day, the wolves run in the winter clouds high above the mountains, freezing the water beneath their paws and turning it to snow. And when the snow falls, we know that the wolves are above us, running from the sun and the heat.